Do I need? There we go. We are here calling this meeting to order. We need to strike a few of them. I think that Representative Edwards will be here. Commissioner Warren is here, co-chair. I am here, and we don't need to approve the minutes. We need a presentation from the Peninsula Fiber. Huh? I'm sorry, I said Peninsula. Peninsula. It's been a long day already. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning, so Peninsula. I said Peninsula again. Peninsula Fiber Network, and if you would come forth, we do appreciate you being here, and also we appreciate everybody who's here. Commissioner Isom is here, Commissioner Mary Alice Adams, City Manager Alex Little, and our clerks are here. Thank you. And Senator Prose is also with us today. Thank you. You have the floor.
Thank you so much. Am I on here? Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Temp, Commissioners, City Manager. We appreciate you hosting PFN and allowing us to come in and present this information to you today. Just wanted to talk a little bit. My name is Jennifer Greenberg. I'm the Vice President of Government Affairs for PFN. I have Steve Hughes, who is our project manager, and then Jim Bednarik, who is PFN's CFO. So again, thank you for allowing us to be here today to talk with you. Just a little bit about PFN. We are headquartered in Marquette, Michigan, so I don't know that our communities could be farther away. But the good news is that the network that we provide for broadband service is throughout the state of Michigan. We have over 6,000 miles of fiber in the state of Michigan into Wisconsin and over to Minnesota as well. And we are primarily a middle mile provider, which I'll talk about in a minute. But we have headquarters, as I mentioned, in Marquette. We have a Lansing office, and then we also have an office in Mount Pleasant where we do a lot of our technical outside plant operations. We are fortunate enough to already work with your county. We are providers of next generation 911 service in the state of Michigan, and so we work with your 911 office here in the county. Across the state, we help deliver 4.6 million calls on our network, on our broadband network. And Berrien County, about 94,000 calls in 2024. So it is our privilege to work with public safety to provide that service, and it's really sort of lays the groundwork to know that our network is considered critical infrastructure in that it needs to be redundant, it needs to be resilient, it needs to be able to carry those 911 calls without interruption. And so we work very hard to make sure that that happens. And this project is adding another piece to make sure that that happens. So just a little bit about, not sure what everyone's familiarity is with the broadband network, but there's really 3 critical components. You have your internet at large, where you have, the big providers, the Amazon, the Netflix, the things that you want to connect to, and the different things there. You have the middle mile piece, and then you have the last mile piece. So your last mile piece is what's at your house. It's who you pay your broadband bill to every month. Well, you don't, when we think about an information superhighway, you don't really want your house to be on the information superhighway. You need a way for them to connect. And that's really what that middle mile does, is it provides that connection. So, picture yourself on a highway. You need to get off on an off-ramp to get to the house. And that's what middle mile does for the broadband networks. PFN is a middle mile network. So that map you saw of all of those networks, we provide middle mile services, which means that we help internet service providers to connect houses. We worked with cell carriers to connect their towers to provide backhaul for their services. And then we also sell business class of services. So we work with, small businesses, large businesses, government institutions, and whatnot to provide those services. back in 2022, there was the National Bipartisan Infrastructure Law that put out a host of these 4 different programs to encourage broadband. At the time, PFN looked at these broadband programs that would be funded, and we said, hey, that middle mile program could be something. And we began to work with the state of Michigan and a number of stakeholders, including some, in this region as well, to say, what could we do to apply for this grant? So before I move on and talk about what we applied for, I know that there's been a number of changes in the federal grants, and unfortunately, there's been experience where funding is being pulled. To date, PFN has not experienced any funding being pulled as part of this program. This middle mile program only represents 2% of the available broadband funding. So I think as compared to the other broadband programs, it's really been sort of left alone. The other thing is that we've successfully completed an audit as one of only 4 nationwide as part of this program. And so, that successful building block as part of the program has helped as well as some stability to the case. And then I guess just to make you aware that PFN has already been released $27 million as part of this grant. So we have the funds available to move forward with parts of construction and procurement. And so we feel like we're on solid ground to move forward pursuing the different parts that are needed for this grant. So you say, well, what was the grant for? This is the grant in a snapshot. There's 3 distinct routes throughout the state of Michigan. It was based on some of the criteria on the grant had to do with national security, had to do with serving underserved populations in unserved areas. And then those other broadband grants that I showed in the previous slide, those all deal with sort of end user, so connecting a residence or connecting an exact location. If the goal of those programs is to get more people connected, then they needed to make sure that the infrastructure that provides those, that it carries that data, that there's enough of it. And that's where the middle mile piece comes into it. So our grant, we're going to talk in depth about route number 1, which is obviously what we're here to talk about today. But just a mention about route number 2 is that, we're going to connect the peninsulas between upper and lower, so that right now there's only one connection, and that's on the Mackinac Bridge. And so this would add some redundancy through that network, and it allows there to be an internal connection between the peninsulas within the state of Michigan, which is important. Route number 3 goes from Flint to Port Huron. We recently broke ground on that earlier this year, so that was really exciting as well. And then route number 1, Jim's going to talk a little bit more in depth about it, but this route number 1 is very exciting. It represents the first time that there will be a direct connection between the network through the state of Michigan underneath the Lake Michigan into Chicago, which has one of the largest internet data centers or exchange points in the country. So in a nutshell, we received a $61.2 million grant. The project itself is $87 million, which means that PFN and our partner 123Net will be putting in $26 million in private match to make up for that additional part of the project. It's important to note that this is an open access network, which means that it doesn't just belong to PFN. Yes, we'll own and operate it, but other providers have access to it and can utilize the resources that it brings to the network. It's a total of 535 miles, and we have 5 years to build it, and we passed 35,000 unserved locations. So as much as all that is sort of the facts and figures of what's going on, I wanted to bring to your attention really the economic benefits of the project that it brings to this region. And what's really interesting is that each of those routes that I showed you, they bring similar and or different economic benefits to the regions that those are located in. So, what's really exciting about this route, we'll talk about the cost-efficient backhaul. When we talk about there being more competition, that there being more middle mile opportunities, which means that internet service providers would be able to choose of who to hook up to, which could potentially mean savings for the end user customer, that there's more choice on who to bring those networks to. We talk about faster disaster recovery. as the provider of NextGen 911, as the network provider of that, anytime that we can add redundancy to the network and strengthen those networks, that's a good thing. If anything happens that is in an emergency or wires get cut, that means there's alternate routing for those calls to go through, which means citizens are safer and they can get back up online faster. And then I think really that middle one, when we talk about future-proofing the infrastructure and economic growth, learning from so many of you about all the great projects that are going on in Benton Harbor and sort of the different things that you have your goals to bring to the area. We're really excited because, you are the only area in Michigan that will be directly connected to the city of Chicago with an underground fiber through the state of Michigan, through Lake Michigan. And we take it for granted because we say it 10 times a day, for the last, but when you really step back and look at it, that's a really big deal. You guys will be directly connected to the state of Michigan or to the state of Illinois into that internet exchange point. So what does that mean? It means that there's opportunities for high-tech users here. It's a marketable economic development opportunity to bring additional growth into the city. And it really sort of strengthens the region's competitiveness, right? It's something that you can say, we offer this and not everybody else can do that. So we're really excited to partner with all of you. We've already had some great moments of collaboration between us, but we think this is, a really exciting project, and we appreciate your willingness to hear us out and to take this on. So Jim's going to talk a little bit more about the actual route here.
So Jim Bednarik, I'm with PFN, and we look at the existing infrastructure that connects Michigan to Chicago and these big data centers that are there. Runs through Gary, Indiana. It's in those train right of ways. It's constantly down, constantly cut. You have outages a lot, and so that was really what drove us to connect across the lake. Was the likelihood of being out and damaged is it's very unlikely that it will be damaged. But if it does, it takes a long time to fix it because it's under the lake. So that's where we have the two routes coming through, and they're both running through Benton Harbor, one St. Joe. We looked at a number of different options. We looked north along the lakeshore for going out in egress into the lake. We went as far north as due west of Coloma, and the Benton Harbor location allowed us to get to, and the Gene Clark Park area allowed us to get through the city of Benton Harbor, as well as maintaining that route across to Chicago. So that was part of we spent about 2 years vetting the locations where we were going to egress into the lake. And part of that, the original route wasn't drawn like this. And when we talked a little bit with some folks here at Benton Harbor, we said, okay, we can route right through the city. We can go past the Bobo Brazil Community Center. We can go past the City Hall and Public Safety location where we're at here. We can go past the police and the library, right through downtown, and still get to our egress locations. So if you look at that upper part of the map, you'll see that there's a little house drawn in green. That's where we're looking at putting a communication shelter and continue in the road right of way, and in the south entrance to Gene Clark Park is where we're looking at drilling out into the lake. And if we flip to the next one, Jennifer, this is just a real simple sketch of what drilling in, or what the fiber in the lake would look like, where we actually go from a shore manhole and we drill out into the lake with a horizontal directional drill and leave a sleeve there. And then we bury the fiber for a certain distance until we get to a depth where it's not at risk of having ice scour or anchor damage or other things that might cause damage to the fiber. And then it lays on the bottom of the lake, and you repeat the process to get back out of the lake on the other side in Chicago. And The other side in Chicago is really neat. We've done this same type of presentation at the Chicago Parks Group. And we're coming up in the parking lot of the Alder Planetarium in Chicago and connecting to data centers at 350 Cermak, which is one of the world's largest data. It's like it was seventh in the world the last time I checked. And the data center at the
600 South Federal.
Thank you, 600 South Federal. And so it's really neat to be able to do this on both ends of the lake. And connecting directly to Chicago, and that the internet itself, the superhighway of the internet, we're actually going to be directly connected through a route that's not old infrastructure and experiencing damage. And then I'm going to pass it on. Steve Hughes is our project manager who has the engineering aspect to go over in this, a little more of the specifics.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. So I wanted to show you a few slides to show you kind of how this is done, how we can achieve getting cable into the lake. And what you're looking at is a pretty basic illustration of a horizontal directional drill rig. I'm sure you've all seen them. Maybe you didn't know what it was at the time, but you often see them sitting on the side of the road boring underneath a street. And you'll typically see on the other end, most commonly in telecommunications, a big reel of orange conduit that they pull back, and that's what they pull the fiber through. Similar concept, except we are going to be drilling into the lake from the shore. So in the above diagram, you see the drill stems kind of, worming their way into the lake. And then on the second image, actually what you see is a lake cable laying vessel, and the fiber is being back pulled through that drill stem that they drilled out into the lake. So the idea is that rather than pulling a conduit back, we just drill it out, and we cut it off, and then that becomes our orange conduit. So you see the cable being back pulled through there. Okay, next one. So when we talk about Gene Clark Park, the footprint for the type of drill required to get out into the lake to that achievable depth of a minimum of 25 feet is what we're trying to go for because of what Jim mentioned, ice scour, anchor drag, recreational craft that have the ability to hook the cable. We have to get out, in some cases, 3,000 feet from shoreline. And this is one of these locations where we have to get out quite a ways because of water depth. So what you're looking at in the black checkered shaded area is the south parking lot of Gene Clark Park. And everything that you see shaded is the limit of construction that we are proposing. With the perimeter fence, obviously for safety concerns and noise constraints. And what you see, and it's kind of hard to see from the TV, but you see some elevation numbers in the parking lot. It's very flat up there, which was very favorable for a drilling condition, less intrusive than alternative locations where we had a lot of grading work to be done. So this was a very nice location that was already flat and at water level. Next one. And here's just really kind of a zoomed in detail of the same thing you were just looking at, except now we show the actual equipment staged in this lot. And you can see we take up quite a bit of this parking area. What you see outlined in the black dashed lines is the drill rig itself. And the next image will make a little more sense to you, but before you go back. Before we get there, Jim had mentioned that little green house being a telecommunications hut site. In the top right corner is the Benton Harbor Freshwater Intake Pump House. We're proposing a small footprint within that compound fence to install a telecommunications hut, and that's the detail you see. And there is the terrestrial fiber, so the ground fiber along public road right away.
Is there an actual picture of that?
There is.
Can you show that so people can know where you're at?
Sure.
That picture of where we're talking about, because I think that, they need to know exactly. Because, we do have a map up here, but I think they need to know where that pump house is.
Sure.
That you're talking about. Thank you.
So before we get to that, here's a very high-level bird's eye view of the entire limit of construction, including the bore out to the lake. What I had included for you guys, because I think it's pretty neat to look at, everything that you see in that orangish brown is actually the bottom of the lake. That's the lake bed you're looking at based on hydrographic imagery. And what you see is not a lot, which was actually very good for us. You see some sand ripples, maybe a bit of a sand mound there. Other locations were quite treacherous for a punch-out, bore punch-out location. You have a nice, flat, sandy ground here, which was very favorable from a construction feasibility perspective. Here's a satellite image of the pump house that we were just talking about. I did draw in everything you see in a green line there is the proposed public road right-of-way fiber cable. And in the shaded gray is the proposed hut location, and the smaller one you see is the generator, a backup generator supply. And here's actual photos of the pump station. One was taken aerially about 6 months ago, and I kind of transposed our hut footprint into there next to the building. And then one you see on the left is taken at ground level as conditions today.
Where that's at, let me interject real quick. That's over by Hickman Park Hill. It's over on Grand Boulevard. That's right there where it turns into, Clock Road, yeah. And if you drive past that, that's a good condition to what it looks like right now. That place is dilapidated, and it does need some help. And anything that can help that property right there is a good thing. And I'm not suggesting anything, but that property has not been upkept by anybody. Thank you.
Here's an engineering schematic of the exact same thing. This actually calls out specific dimensions, though, so some offsets from the existing pump station, offsets from the perimeter fence, and it was identified early on during survey that a lot of that fence is not in great shape, as you alluded to. The asphalt parking lot is obviously, we would need to set a structure on top of some of that. So efforts would be taken to improve that ground to suitable conditions for a telco hut, which do come with their own hefty maintenance requirements to begin with. So this is really kind of the start to the ending product. You see the image on the right is just a standard manhole. We're proposing a 6x12 manhole. They help with some of the constraints for the marine fiber itself. So a little bit larger vaults required in comparison to your traditional terrestrial builds. But you can see on the left, the yellow star is actually right where the drill's sitting. So we intend to put the manhole right where the drilling operation is taking place. And then this is your ending, this is your final product. It's just a standard 3-foot manhole lid when we leave. And that's all anyone would ever see for the lifetime of the network. It's just a steel lid in the asphalt.
Thank you. Let's go back to Gene Clark Park. What you're saying is basically that whatever is removed, you'll make it like or better. So anything that's disturbed, you'll make it like and better. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So there's nothing that will be removed that won't look like it did before the adjustments are made.
The idea is to restore the property back to how it was before we got there, except there would be a manhole. And if we've created disturbances during our construction, we would make sure that those areas are restored.
I'm only talking about Gene Clark Park.
Yes.
Okay. Questions?
So I had a couple of questions. Can you give everyone a general idea from a speed perspective? Because I'm assuming this is going to be a lot faster.
Actually, actually, that's a perfect question. We still had another slide to talk about the timeline, so it's a great, thank you for introducing that. So, here we are in 2025, and you can see that last year we did community outreach. We worked on environmental studies. We've been doing engineering and design. It's in 2023, 24. Here we are in 25. We're still working on environmental studies. We're firming up our permits and, moving forward with that, with the goal to submit those applications by the end of the year so that we have approval to begin actual construction in 2026. And so the idea would be we would work on shore vaults. We would get the telecom hut in place. We would begin the terrestrial fiber route. And then in 2027, we would work on the marine part of that and pull that fiber through with the idea of being ready and having everything turned up by June of 2028.
I mean, fiber optic speeds are light speeds faster than what copper is. I mean, fiber is the speed of light. It runs through glass. It's a reflection of light, basically, in fiber optics. You can get up to 100 or a gig or whatever you want to get. It's just the maximum speed that you want. And copper is pretty much going away. Hate to say it like that, but everything right now is pretty much fiber. And fiber is literally light over glass. I think, is that true?
That's true.
Does that sound about right?
It's kind of like Morse code with light.
Yeah, I think.
Pulses of light that go through and no pulse, and that's generated, that's how it goes across the fiber, and then it's brought into a computer.
It's broken glass, right?
Digital, yeah. So it's, and your speeds, when you talk about speeds, today, you talk about 25 meg up and 5 meg down is the limit for an unserved or underserved. That's what the FCC has set as an underserved or unserved location. And we can sell up to 100 gig a bit services on ours. So oftentimes we'll sell the pipe that another internet service provider would use to then provide a community with their internet. So this is truly the connecting to the superhighways of the internet, coming right through.
And also, I want to thank the city manager for his job, well done, for even bringing you to the table, number one, but then also asking that you provide this to the city and to this municipality and to other areas that need it. And I do appreciate you being willing to bring it to, revolutionize the city of Benton Harbor, downtown area, and to the city hall. Because I do think we all need this. I think it's a win-win for the city of Benton Harbor. I mean, you're investing multi-millions of dollars in this community, and it brings job opportunities and everything else. And it does a lot for the city of Benton Harbor. So I do want to thank you for being here tonight. Thank you.
I did have one last question, if that's okay. You touched on this earlier, but I want to make sure everyone watching at home was clear. Cost efficiencies. So you're saying our current providers will have additional options. So basically, in theory, I guess we wouldn't negotiate the price, but they should offer us more options.
I don't know that we can speak to what the other internet service providers would be able to provide the community, but when we look at it from an economic standpoint and sort of how we interact with internet service providers, it's really sort of that basic, if there's more choices than there was before, then there's more options for service, and typically price goes down. So I can't speak what they may or may not do in the community, but we do know when there's more choices, it does help things out.
My final question was, with the pump house, does that require someone to operate that, or is that automatic?
The pump house is dead.
Well, he was saying a hut was going to be by.
Yeah, so they're prefabricated structures. They do require generator backup, so we don't have that downtime that Jennifer spoke about earlier. But I mean, they typically in the telco world, it's a monthly routine maintenance, so spray weeds and plug holes, whatever is necessary, really. There is no, they're set schedules for anything that may be required.
The shelters house electronics that take the light pulses and convert them to a digital sync and then send them back out as light again. So there'll be computers racked inside the shelter, and they don't need somebody manning it all the time.
So we appreciate that your willingness, to
Well,
talk to
we,
us
we,
about
we do
this.
have questions from the community. Also, I've been doing it for 27 years, so. Commissioner Mary Alice Adams.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I think I can speak loud enough where I don't have to.
Please come forward because I don't want nobody else to feel that they can do the same thing. Thank you.
Sometimes again, my name is Mary Alice Adams, previously known as Commissioner Adams. Thank you, Honorable Chair. As previous co-chair, I remember this conversation coming up, and it started back probably 6, 7, maybe even 8 years ago, and we knew that it was coming. And when we went to talking about running something under the lake, I think that the conversation about the electrical component of what this optic is and how it relates to water and its damage. Because we all know that when electricity hits water, I mean, that part was never explained, and I've been waiting for this conversation to come because we knew that it was coming. I found it interesting to find out how this optic stuff is like, is crazy after seeing it. So I'm glad that it's happening, but I think the initial questions are yet to be answered, and I'm hoping that we can possibly take a tour of where everything will take place at Gene Clark Park to ensure and secure the minds and hearts of the people of Benton Harbor that has a heart for Gene Clark Park. Also, you mentioned some things up there. I guess my question is, we will be having some more conversations about this with the community as a whole? Or are we setting forth to make a decision and send it to the body for a vote?
I think that, and I'm only one person on this. I don't,
Are we approving
Well-
this to be sent to the full body?
let me say this,
Not at that stage yet.
not at that
Okay,
stage.
then that's,
But they are going through every form and fashion,
Yeah.
the DNR,
yeah,
everybody to make sure that they're not disturbing the Freshwater Act,
Yeah.
they're not disturbing the fish, they're not disturbing anything else.
and I want to thank you for that because I'm working with some organizations and I'll be able to answer those questions and put those to rest so that there's no,
Yeah, they're not
Yeah,
killing, they're not killing.
chaos coming.
They're not killing fish, they're
we
not
need,
killing.
it's coming. I mean, it's here. It's all over.
So they're going through the
Yeah.
right channels.
Yeah.
The right processes to get this done. You cannot do anything to Lake Michigan. And let's be honest, you have to not only deal with Chicago, but you got to deal with every area that is connected coming this way.
Exactly,
So we're not the only one that they're going to have to go get approval from.
right.
And I guarantee you right now what Chicago's going through, that they're going to have to get some heavy approval
Yeah,
to get that to come this way. So I don't want the misnomer that this is something to hurt us.
exactly, exactly.
There's fiber everywhere now.
Everywhere.
When we started running, there was fiber being put everywhere, and there's fiber really everywhere.
When we knew that this was coming and it was going to be ran up under the lake, I
Yeah.
think the conversation came up, and I pray that it can be had again, that maybe that's another way for us to sell some water to Chicago.
Yeah, but the other instance
Through the
is
lake.
that you have children that need to have faster internet speeds. You have homelessness
Yeah,
that need to connect their phones downtown. You have the library. You have other entities that right now don't have that ability that they're willing to provide. And I'm not selling it because I don't work for them, but I'm saying go without your cell phone, go without your internet, and you'll see how it feels.
Commissioner Warren actually brought up a question that everybody really wanted to know, and that was having a choice of who we want our service with. Because some of us are tired of the ones that we deal with. So having a choice is always good. So I'm just looking forward to more conversations and seeing it move forward for real, because it's gonna happen. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Questions from the audience? Any other questions? Being that there's none,
Commissioner, I'd like to just make a brief comment,
go ahead.
and that is the existence of this kind of technology will set the city up to be able, for example, to do smart homes, where basically you can connect everything necessary to operate the home with it. An office connected by fiber could be here in somebody's extra room in their house and communicating with an office in Chicago just about if they were like they were next door to each other. It's that fast. It opens a great deal of potential for the city, and it offers and does not present any significant problems. I started this journey when I met a gentleman named Tony Owens, who I think was a contractor for him, from JSI over 2 years ago, I believe, or around that, because I noticed as far back as January 24 and latter 23, I think it was, when we were communicating. But I see nothing but pluses for the city to have this come through, and very little negative, or no negative, actually.
Thank you, Commissioner Isom. Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Henry.
Thank you, Chair. I did get some little information that how the citizens will be affected by it when this comes through. And I hear a lot of key words that are being passed around, like opportunities and jobs, and I need more understanding and details about the opportunities that our residents will have. I understand that the library and the dollar ride and everything right in this area is gonna be affected, but how is it gonna affect the citizens that are really not in this area? And their opportunities that we're speaking of.
You're saying that the people that utilize the library, people that utilize
No, I'm
the
not
dollar
saying-
ride,
I'm not saying,
are you saying they're not citizens?
I'm not saying that. They are citizens, but I'm talking about the ones that are not in this area where the line is gonna go. My question is, are they gonna be included in the opportunities or not?
Will they have the ability to be included in the opportunities for fiber when this happens? And what areas are you speaking of?
4.5 miles. Downtown is only less than a mile, so the rest of the city. Why do you act like you don't understand how big the city is and it's more than the downtown?
Commissioners, if I might, a lot of that's still being worked on, and we'll keep you posted as we get these things worked out.
Can you tell me
How,
what?
how much money are you guys investing in this project?
Excuse me, did you give me the floor? And the
Well,
city
you
manager
act-
has
you
given
act-
me something that I need
But
to address.
you asked a question.
I did not, he didn't finish answering.
You asked a question through the chair. That's what you did. But
Well, please, Chair.
please,
give him the
please,
opportunity for
please
us
move
to
forward
have
with the
dialogue.
question, and then we'll move forward with the answer. Thank you.
The city manager says they're working on it. My question is, what are you working on? And the opportunities that could happen for the residents. So I'm trying to get some transparency here so I can actually see what maybe see what the future will bring.
Commissioner,
Right now, it's vague.
City Manager,
Yes, sir.
is this on Facebook? Is this on YouTube? Is your phone number on YouTube? I mean, your phone number on the city website? Is your phone number on the city website? I don't know how much transparent we can get with having this meeting that you can keep replaying and replaying and replaying and replaying and replaying. If you have any further questions for those who are looking online, please feel free to call 927-8400. And you can get your answer from the clerk or from the city manager at any time, because transparency is becoming, and I'm saying this publicly, it's becoming a joke, because our meetings, every meeting is on YouTube. So we're not being not transparent about anything that we're doing, and every vote that we're having, that people are voting yes or no, is not being hidden. There's nothing that we're hiding. The city manager said that we're working on trying to get it out throughout the community and to find out what else can happen for the residents. This is not something that somebody's hiding or somebody's getting a personal gain or anything. I want to make that public because,
Point
you know,
of order, Chair. I would
the
like to
part of transparency has
answer.
been,
You trying to change the subject to what I said about transparency. That's not answering my question. My question is, what is he working on? And what could be the possibility? So you can change all
city manager, could you take 5 minutes and explain what are you
Thank
working
you.
on?
Yes, certainly will. And one thing I'd like to dispel to begin with, as Jennifer said, their middle mile, they don't do that last mile to the homes. So this project, taking fiber directly to houses, will not happen. That's not part of it. But I am working with Mr. Bednarak and Mr. Hughes and the rest of the people with PFN to determine what we can and cannot achieve and accomplish. We've talked before, we're continuing to, and will. I've indicated to them that I believe the city will be receptive to trying to help make this project be a success, and they've assured me they'll try to work with the city and do what we can. I recognized in the very beginning of the whole process with the federal NTIA funding that the city was going to run into problems dealing with being state mechanism that was being put there and that kind of thing. So I'm going to be working with PFN, possibly 1, 2, 3, to do whatever we can to improve the situation for the city to the extent that's reasonable.
Does anybody else need the city manager say anything else about that issue? Do we all understand? All right, Commissioner Isom.
Just want to know about the drilling part. I know I was up, me and my wife was up there walking. So the drilling is right in that, as soon as you come through the entranceway, because we seen the man up there testing the soil.
Yes,
And so it's, you come out in the entranceway, it's right there on the right-hand side.
that's right.
So the parking lot won't be disturbed. Will we lose parking spaces?
Yeah, so the anticipated construction window is 6 to 8 weeks. And for that concern there, we've been looking at early spring to fall, to when there's less activity in the park. The parking lot will be barricaded for safety concerns.
Okay.
But it is temporary. That's
okay,
important to know,
okay,
it's
I see what
temporary.
you're saying.
And any damage as a result of that activity will be repaired.
Not the whole parking lot.
Just what you see in the shaded checkers is our limit of construction. More to your question, you will not be able to get access through that work site during the activity for that 6 to 8 weeks. But there will be a detour in place.
Detour to get you in
Yeah,
here. So-
that's right.
And you can do all this, if approved, through the winter months, so you have to do it.
Winters, so there is a water portion to this, so we need to have a window to where we can be in the water. So that leads me to my early spring. That's about when we can first get into Lake Michigan
Yeah.
for the year. If we cannot achieve that because of pending environmental approvals, fall would be our second preferred window. So around the 1st of November, that gives us until about Christmas.
To start doing.
And then the lake's going to be frozen, and then we are in a vicious cycle here. So
Okay.
we have a limited window, but we have enough flexibility, I think, that can make everybody happy.
There's one more question. Now, this will be a lease, you'll be leasing land, this is a lease, like,
Those are part of the details that we're continuing to talk about and work out.
sounds good.
Any other questions from anybody in the community? Thank you for your presentation, and we will be moving this forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And do be prepared to just come. The presentation is online. And if there's any questions, then just be ready to answer. And you don't have to come and do this unless somebody can call you and request it. Do you have any cards available? All right, so if you can leave some cards with the clerks in case any commissioner wants to come to your office or call you or anything else to get information, because Monday night is not the time to get information, but it's the time to vote. So we do appreciate your ability to come tonight, and we thank you for every information, every piece of information that you've given us. And thank you for being transparent tonight at everything you're going to do. And if you, do you have a number to your office?
You know, if we provide our email address, because we have different locations, we all have different phone numbers, so we'd be glad to.
Yeah, please give it to the clerk, and the clerk will make sure that everybody who needs it, and I'm talking to everybody online, if you need to know what's going on, contact your city clerk, and she can give you the information to this entity, PFN, and they will answer any question that you have. And the heart of being transparent in Benton Harbor politics. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And I might suggest also that it might be a lot easier for many of the questions for either myself or Mr. Prose, since we're here local, to get the answers for them. And if need be, we can get a hold of them and get them.
Well, city manager, I don't want them to say that you're doing anything that you're not supposed to be doing. So it's better to get it from the mouth of the people that are here, or you know how things go. I appreciate it. New business resolution authorizing the city manager to execute Eagles Grant GG 223086 Amendment 3. Can you give me a brief synopsis of that? Thank you.
Yes, sir. As you're aware, we've had a number of Eagle grants for different things. We've had the lead line project. We've had grants for doing some of the utility improvements in the streets, and separate grants for doing work at the water plant itself. What is occurring here is that we're transferring $3 million from what was previously allocated to utility replacement and moving it to the water plant facility for repairs and improvements there.
So is that money already there for us to send that there? Is there anything that's wrong with us sending it there? Is there
Nothing
anything
at
that's a
all.
problem with us sending it there?
No problems
Is there
whatsoever with it.
something that we need to talk about sending it there?
Actually, it already has. As a matter of fact, I believe it was 2 weeks ago that Jason from Abin Marsh was here explaining what's happening with that. No, there are no problems. It doesn't negatively impact anything. We're simply transferring it over to address some of the priorities that we have to address to comply with Eagle's request.
So we're not charging the city residents any more money,
Absolutely not.
and we're not going to get another millage.
No, sir.
So there's nothing that we're doing illegally or wrong to transfer this money.
That's absolutely right, and it's with Eagle's blessings.
Now, you're being totally transparent.
Transparent as I know how to be, sir.
All right, any questions from anybody in the community, anybody from the council, anybody from anywhere?
And to city manager and, the
Please state your name. No, I'm just,
will this be part of one of the ACOs that Eagle?
That's correct.
That's
That's what the
important, right?
money is being used for, is to address items that are on that ACO list,
That's- that's
administrative consent order.
That's real important, right, Commissioner Henry?
can you speak into the microphone so we
Is
know
that,
what you're saying?
that's important, when the ACOs that Eagle, have on us to, it's a checklist, so there'll be one of them, I don't know, one?
As a matter of fact, you might recall about 3 weeks ago or so, I sent to all of you the complete listing of
List,
things that were on that ACO.
So it's a good thing,
Are you being totally transparent?
expect great things.
Thank you.
I'm looking for some transparency over there.
Thank you.
So, I want to ask if there's more money in that funding, or will that deplete that account?
It won't completely deplete it because there are other things that are still going on that are being paid for in the line of the utility improvements. This just takes part of that and transfers to address these administrative consent order concerns.
Okay, and what effect will it have on the utility not having those funds?
If you recall, when Jason was here, he mentioned to you that would, I forget what street it was now, that,
Oh, I got
yeah,
you.
remember?
Yeah, thank you.
Well, Commissioner, can you explain, because you said you got them, but we don't know what you're talking about.
You should, you was in the meeting.
Well, we want you to be totally transparent.
I don't get paid to be transparent.
All right, well, I apologize. Because you said you got it, but I wanted to hear what you got.
Then you ask him, he's the one.
Commissioner, City Manager, could you tell me
I
what
believe
you...
it was Superior and Ogden that he mentioned that was coming from, and that's something that will be addressed later.
Okay, I apologize. I wanted to just know because I was in the dark. Nobody else? We're moving that forward, please. Thank you. You have anything? I'm sorry. I do apologize. You sure? All right. Approval and direction to the city manager and the city attorney to negotiate and execute an agreement for easements with AEP for power line crossing 3 city-owned parcels of property off West Market Street and 11th Street, Hickory Creek, Maine, and transmission line. I'm sorry. Is there...
By way of explanation, you'll recall that we've been talking with AEP I&M for the last several years in terms of both the reconstruction of the substation down here off Main Street, which is completed, and then the transmission of power lines from there through the city, going out to the substation at the end of Broadway, just the block, in fact, the very end of the street there at Broadway, where the city limits end and Benton Township begins. And they are now that the substation's pretty much done, they're moving the power lines from there down the 11th Street to go on out. And they need to cross 3 parcels of property that the city owns, and the attachments that I sent that are on here will show those parcels. Now, those parcels will still belong to the city when it's completed. We'll still have ownership, but we'll have reduced capacity for putting certain types of building on and so forth. So we're negotiating with them a reasonable easement rate because those properties will be affected. And all this is authorizing us to go ahead and complete that process and work that out.
Will this be a detriment, or would it be a benefit to the
It
city?
will be a benefit to the city. As I said, we'll receive a reasonable compensation for the easements, and at the same time, we'll still retain ownership of the property and able to do a number of uses.
So what you're saying is that we're going to get some income for where we were not getting income for them being able to do this project?
That's correct, and will also help to facilitate the power improvement, which will help us all.
Have you, are there houses on that area or people on that area that need to know, or
No.
there's nobody there?
So you know specifically where we're talking about, where Meeks Equipment and stuff is there on Market Street.
I know exactly where you're at.
Right next to it is the first lot, which is actually a part of our right-of-way there. And then two vacant lots right next to it. And on that side, there are no houses, and there are no houses until you get all the way across the other side.
All right. I do appreciate that. Any questions from anybody in the audience? Anybody? Thank you. Commissioner Henry.
Thank you, Chair. I'd just like to know, you said that there might be some limitations on what could be built on that property. Can you give me more detail on
So-
that conversation?
Certainly. Because these are very high-power lines, you would not want to build a two-story house right under them or something of that nature. So we won't look to do things of that nature there, but you still have the land and other things as long as it, you don't you get too close to the power lines or that kind of thing.
You can't build a hotel there or a two-story restaurant or anything like that because of the easement. And there's a such thing as I'm not going to, being transparent that the easement is an aerial easement or is it an underground easement?
It's an aerial easement.
That's two different things. If you want to go on easements, just go on Google and Google what easements mean. And they will let you know that easements are everywhere in every city, every county, every town. All right? I'm sorry. Come on, Commissioner.
Okay,
Adams.
so from what I just heard, and I just want to be clear, that this matches with the master plan and it's overhead aerial. And I thought that when it comes to moving forward with new development, thinking about underground, that's where we were running lines.
This is aerial.
I know.
There's already power lines there.
Oh, okay.
There's already power
Okay.
there. They're just trying to run a couple more lines.
Convenience of,
Where Meeks, where Meeks Construction is, right by the development down there by River Terrace, where the new development where they built for the school teachers.
right.
So you got Meeks
Okay, so-
Construction right there, but you have the they already got it on Main Street where they're
Okay.
building the high power lines, and they already got the structures, they already got the development already going.
Right. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you go and look, when those were built, they don't have those lines running through that small development.
But it won't affect any of them that are living there now.
And these are not running through the development. They're going right by the end of it up there.
Okay.
Yes,
On the other side.
yes.
Okay. I mean, because all the communities that I've been to throughout the country, you don't see the power lines and stuff because it actually takes away from the beauty. And I just thought that moving forward with the purpose of our master plan, that when we look at future development, that we were looking at that as well. And I'm just hoping that that's something that we're keeping in mind.
Well, I'm going to say this, that you have a $30 million development that's right in that area that is going to be needed for power.
So where are we here in Colfax and?
That area right
Okay.
there, Colfax and
Okay,
Wall Street,
okay, all right, okay.
you're going to have to provide them with some kind of
Yeah,
services.
Yeah. Enough said.
Right now, and I want to, no, before you go, I want to thank you, because right now, you and Commissioner Warren, that we have $50 million worth of projects that are going on just this month that are breaking ground.
Yeah.
Project T, the
Yep.
project that's right down on Wall Street and Colfax, and it's not for anybody else. It's for low to moderate income. The people from Harbor Towers, the people from River Terrace will be able to have a grocery store and better housing. And then not only is that $50 million, but then you got $28 million that's going here. That's $78 million. They're not including Bus Street, that's getting another $32 million.
And the redevelopment
So
of bus.
when you talk about 100 mil, oh, my math might be kind of messed up there, but 32 and 78 somehow, 32 and 78, I don't need no help with it. There you go. We went to school together. $110 million worth of projects that are going on in our area right now. $110 million are coming within a few months. And now you're telling us another multi-million dollar project that's coming across the lake. City manager, if I could stand up and clap, I would, but you have done a yeoman's job in trying to direct and get things going. And, you know, and I hate to say it, with the way the direction of politics are going, in the federal government, every dime that we can get this year, we need to hurry up and get it. Because you don't know what's going to happen next year. And I know I don't mean no disrespect. But every dime we can get this year, you never know what's going to happen next year. Because all these programs might be cut. The project that we had for Bobo Brazil Center,
20 million.
20 million was cut. And that was a bigger grant than just 20 million, but it was stopped. So if Benton Harbor can get, and we've been down this road before, where we didn't have enough money to counter, and somebody is giving misinformation that we're at a deficit of 28 million or 18 million or whatever kind of million deficit. That's erroneous. But if you do not have development going on, because the $50 million or the $110 million we're talking about, that is adding to the tax base of the city of Benton Harbor. Project T is adding to the base of Benton Harbor. The building down here on Wall Street, Colfax, adding to the tax base of Benton Harbor, water customers, all this. You know, city manager, somebody can do better than you. So, economic development report, we really, I was in a meeting today, and I'm grateful, and I'm not going to go through the meeting. But there's another entity that wants to invest in our downtown, and also want to invest in Riverview Drive, to make Riverview Drive something more important than what it is. I'm sorry, city manager, you got a brief update on that?
Actually, I didn't have any additional details, but we do have a couple of projects that are underway that in the early stages, and I would prefer to wait until we get a little further along to really
Thank you.
get into details.
What about parks and recreations?
Our parks are moving along well. The Martin Park, as you know, we had a problem this past weekend with the sign, the new sign that was just put up. Somebody, for whatever reason, vandalized it and destroyed it, but otherwise, that project is done. The Hall Park construction is going very well. They've completed pouring the base for the new basketball courts and the concrete walkway. They're in the process of preparing for putting in the additional lighting and so forth. And that's projected to be completed by November 11. And the project for Bobo Brazil for doing the roof on it and exchanging the windows and so forth, that we just executed the contract and they'll be getting started, expected to be completed by the end of December with the part they're doing. And with Union Park, now that the Youth Baseball League is finished, we're going to begin work shortly on putting in diagonal parking. We'll put diagonal parking up Hurd Street and down along Emory. As you know, that's been one of my concerns now for some time. And Whirlpool is, and the foundation were wonderful enough to provide us money to help make that happen, because we want to keep people from driving vehicles through the park on the grass and that kind of stuff. Likewise, at June Woods Park, the old Broadway Park, we, as you recall from the last couple of meetings, did acquire 2 lots directly across the street from it. We anticipate putting a driveway in there, and initially it'll be aggregate for parking cars there. So again, there'll be no need for people to pull into the park at June Woods, and we will have the police enforcing it. If people pull in there, there'll be a problem. But overall, we're moving along quite well with all of our parks projects, and we'll continue to do so. And we're very thankful to the people that are helping. As you recall, we've had fraternity, a sorority, and another organization that has adopted 3 of the parks. They've been cutting and cleaning and helping to maintain them, and we certainly appreciate that.
City Manager, did I hear you correctly when you said somebody vandalized the sign?
Yes, they did. An $8,500 sign, they destroyed it.
How's the bathrooms coming in the parks?
The bathrooms are operational. However, because of this vandalism problem, what we've done is kept them locked until we have some particular events where we have people there to make sure that that they're safe. In the meantime, we provide the porta potties outside.
So, is there any way, I'm thinking with this fiber optic project, that we can put camera systems?
That's our plan, but of course, it's going to require when we get money.
But do anybody know who's doing it?
We don't, and we're taking measures to try to see if we can identify the people that are doing it. The police are doing a full investigation on that situation with the sign at Martin Park this past
And you
weekend.
said $500?
That's correct.
Well, we shouldn't worry about that. That ain't no big deal, right? That's kind of people don't have to. Well, people don't have to be nice, and people don't have to do anything. That park, people spent hours and hours and hours and hours out there beautifying that park, and money to beautify that park, and for that to be done, that's something different, and that's a whole nother conversation that I'm going to talk to Commissioner Warren soon, and we can have a town hall meeting, because there's another uptick that we're going to have to deal with coming up in a couple weeks in September, because I know we wanted to do a good thing with Martin Luther King, but Martin Luther King statue, people are sleeping on the top of the table. people are putting coats and hats on Martin Luther. There was a guy down there with a bat beating the statue, and somebody had to stop him. So, and it's all videoed, ain't nobody just speculating.
Been arrested?
Should be, but we cannot legislate bad behavior. If we want improvements for our city to where we live, then we cannot say that everything is all right. We have to try to figure out a way to make sure everybody is safe, healthy, and make sure everybody has a safe place to stay. But you cannot legislate bad behavior. And for people to be sleeping on that table down there and holding, putting hats on them and coats on them and whooping them with a bat, just ain't right. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I'm not laughing because it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I mean, they put a pink hat on Martin Luther King and put a little thing on his neck. I mean, it's not right. City Manager, I'm sorry. You had the floor, then Commissioner Henry, then Commissioner Adams.
Yes, I sent out an email to everyone this morning. I met in the HRA and the Housing Resource Network meeting that has all the social service agencies in the county that deals with homeless problems and so forth. And I addressed to them the situation we have there. Apparently, we're experiencing some dumping where people are bringing homeless people from other parts of the county and bringing them to that park. The situation has been exacerbated by the fact that there's been regular feedings taking place there, and they're coming to get fed. And the more people that are there, the more that come. And Lieutenant Bledsoe from Salvation Army mentioned that he was there this past Sunday when the health department came and apprised the people that they can't do cooking of raw meats and things like that to serve people without having a health department approval, and that really is not the proper place for them to be doing that. So he indicated that they are going to be seeking to find another place. And
Well,
that-
let's say this, because I don't want nobody saying that we're against them feeding them, and through the proper channels to feed them, because I don't want that to be something that somebody comes and says, I agree that they need to be fed if they're homeless, if they're hungry, but let's because on Sundays people pull up and feed them and clothe them every Sunday, and I don't know where they're coming from, but they're doing it every Sunday, and they line up. I mean, you'll see them lined up all the way up the block, and somebody's feeding them. So I don't want anybody to say that we're against anybody coming to feed them or clothe them or help them, but let's do it the proper channels.
Exactly. And the point that was being made, there's no running water for people to wash their hands. They weren't using gloves and things of that nature. Plus, there's also the fact that our parks, by the city ordinances, typically are supposed to be closed at 10 o'clock. And so we're going to get some signs to post to make sure that folks are aware of that, and then try to start to address it from there.
Commissioner Henry.
Thank you, Chair. Last month, at the end of your committee meeting, I asked a question about the Golf Course Oversight Board. And I don't see any response to that. And through the chair, I'd like to ask the clerk if we've had any meetings for the golf course oversight in the last 2 years.
Clerk, we have not having them in the last 3 years, 2 years?
Not since I've been, once since
All
I've
right.
been here.
It has not happened, so city manager, I need you to take that under your belt and see what we can do with that. Get that done or established, or I think the golfing season is pretty much done right now.
Would you beg your pardon?
I think the golf the golfing season is almost done right now, so we cannot regulate the fees for this year.
We didn't regulate it last year or this year. And
But-
it's done, and it's a court order. So,
Moving forward, I think that, city manager, if you can get
We
with the
will look
attorney
into it and
to make sure that we will be in compliance with the court order, and make sure that we have a meeting before the year ends or the year starts, so we can get those golfing fees, where they need to be, in order to be in compliance. Can you do that?
I will follow up on that, sir.
And can we get an email following, that in September? That you followed up about that, please?
We will do that, sir.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Commissioner Adams.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. You know, I don't think some people understand the magnitude of how hard some people work to try to grow and bring things forth with the relationships that are forged across this country with people to build Benton Harbor up. I think it was very disrespectful for somebody to do what they did to the bathrooms over in Union Park when they were redone. But when that happened, before it happened, I could foresee exactly what has happened to an $8,000 something dollar sign. And I'm just hoping that some type of way that we could actually add within a project the price of what a camera would cost. Because it just doesn't make sense to keep spending money on something that some people just don't appreciate without putting some type of our own public safety on it, which would be helping our officers. And that's the fight that I've been fighting for years about citywide cameras. And I thought that was coming into play when we passed the money for city cameras with what Whirlpool donated, and I didn't realize, though, that it wouldn't be covering the whole city. I didn't realize that it would be this thing that looked like a robot on wheels. But it needs, we got to do something.
We are continuing to work on that. The problem we run into is that most of these grants will not allow you to put,
Yeah.
to fund cameras.
I get that.
Yeah, and we
but
gotta do that either through the general fund or get donations to do
Okay,
it.
so with that being said, through the chair, I just heard you, city manager, mention that you were going to put some signs in the park down here for the homeless people. I mean,
All the parks.
well, okay, all the parks. but-
We're not fighting against homelessness.
no, not at all, not at all, definitely not, because they're human. And for somebody to gain a heart to clothe and feed them, I thank God for those type of people as well. But I'm just saying, waste makes haste. I mean, we just gotta find a way and work together and try to find out who's vandalizing stuff as we try to improve this community. Because it's just totally unacceptable.
Well, one thing I heard today, well, no, I heard this last week, that it's not just Benton Harbor, it's homeless people.
Right.
But people are bringing other homeless people to Benton Harbor to add to the situation.
Yeah.
And I'm doing everything I can to, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I ain't just started this, but we're doing everything we can to find them a place to go. If you go behind, what's the workout, Planet Fitness, you have a whole city of people that are living down there. You have about 30
Okay.
people that's living down there. Let me finish.
Okay.
Then you got GFS, where you have people living down there. Behind Red Roof Inn, you got people living down there.
Okay.
They call it Tent City.
Okay.
So this homeless thing is not something that's just Benton Harbor, but people are migrating and that's moving to different areas. So
Yeah.
the thing that we could do, and I wish it would have came through this committee, because Soup Kitchen being at your main corridor is now something other than what it needed to be.
I tried to tell him.
You had a minority-owned business
Yeah.
that has now become a place where people are just sitting there, and when people come across the bridge, now you just have a whole situation that we could have did something a little bit better. And I think we could have did better by whatever, and I'm saying that publicly. But we have to do something to counteract the homelessness in the Benton Harbor. And I'm not saying counteract like get rid of them, but find them resources, IDs, birth certificates, a place to stay, a place where they can reside, find out if they're mentally competent enough. And if they're not, then there's programs that are federally funded or state funded that can help them get on their feet. You know, and that's where we need to utilize every resource we can to counteract the situation. And if somebody wants to be, because I talked to a few people that want to be, it's not that they don't want to be homeless. They want to be homeless. They like sleeping outside. They like dumpster diving. They like, this is their life. They want to do that. But then there's another sector of people who are saying, I just fell on hard times.
Yeah.
So we need to kind of
Yeah.
navigate to find the ones that want to, and then we need to navigate to find the ones that want to stay in the same situation, but then tell them that this situation is not the correct situation for what you're trying to do, because it's hard to get vendors and the vendors that come out there for the farmers market. And if you go out there tonight at about, I drove past there last night at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock,
They're there.
and they're there. They set up tents down there. They have chairs. They have electricity, and they're living there, which I don't have a problem with. But the problem is when you have a business that's going on, and when they leave your business, then they're getting interaction with people who are asking for $5, $10. You got some money for me. I mean, the business owners who are paying taxes also have rights. So,
Chairman Seats, thank you. I really understand what you're saying, and something has to be done. And it's about to get cold, and I don't know what it's going to look like. With all the cuts that's going on across the country, it doesn't help trying to find a way for these people. Let's know ourselves. But I have a situation next door to me that's turning into a tent city. And when I saw it happening, I started mentioning something about it because it's getting out of hand and it's totally unacceptable to Mary Alice. Because it's a prime area for future development. It's in the master plan. And I saw these little bushes growing that are trees now, and they're tearing my fence down. And it's unacceptable. And I agree. I'm willing to do whatever I can. I'm always willing to do whatever I can for the homeless or anybody else. I mean, because any of us, I mean, COVID showed us it could happen to any of us.
and Commissioner Warren has, you have packets and stuff for the homeless. Can you speak to that if somebody
Yes.
needs something?
Thank you. So I have a charity that I founded called Life Changes Charity, and we specialize in giving blessing bags to the homeless. So I have toothbrushes, toothpaste, face towels, soap, shampoo, conditioner, always stocked, and I'm happy to give it to anybody who needs it.
That's good to know, but what do they do for water? What do they do for sleeping? Covers.
Well,
It's about to snow.
yeah, we have
We have a
to,
lot of work to do, but I appreciate
it's almost,
you,
yeah.
Commissioner Warren, for
And no one person
been
can,
doing that for a very long time.
and no one person can counteract the situation. And if we can get some of that water out of that building over there that they got stored up and never got given out, and we probably can give enough water to the whole community of Ben Harbor to wash up for days. Anything else, from, come on, young lady. I apologize.
My name is Angela Berry, and I be at the park with them every Sunday. I lost my job because of lies, and I ended up, first of all, sleeping in my car. These people were there for me. They help pick me back up, you know. And I used to be so ashamed of telling everybody, but I'm not ashamed of it anymore. A lot of these people, homeless people, they have lost their jobs. They're not crazy. You got some out there that is messed up, but you got a lot that have lost their jobs, and a lot of people with jobs, they don't care. I know what it's like to be homeless. I feel them. I feel them. When I go to getting back on my feet, I stay there and help them. Every Sunday, I've been there. And so whatever they need, I try my best. When it came time for voting, it was certain people here that was there. Took pictures of the homeless, of everything. I didn't like that. I got upset. And they got upset too. Because that was very wrong. You're not, and they haven't been back. Voting time over, they haven't been back. And I know the people. And I can call them tonight and have them come to the meeting because it's very important. We didn't get upset. We're willing to just to make that change, you know what I'm saying? But just to throw them out, please don't do that. They're all used to coming here. You never know what tomorrow gonna bring. You really don't. All you know is you got it going on now. That's it. A lot of people thought it that way, you know? The bags, like she said, they had bags. Let us know what kind of food and everything that we can have. Because I'm thinking about, getting a license too, to sign up, to help the poor. I know what it's like. It's not easy. But not only that, to get some kind of information where they can start going to school, taking classes, not just feeding them all the time, but also have some information and some literature where we can help them. We can't come out here, you don't know how long this is going to be. You got to get up and help yourself, And that's my opinion. I never turned anybody away. I didn't ever turn anybody away before I came homeless. And I want to mention this. When I went over there to Southwest Michigan Community Action Agency, the lady there, she told me I would have to take some medicine in order to get in the shelter. I lost my job. I didn't lose my mind. And obviously you ain't got one, and you over all this stuff. I got ready to get up and leave. She said, oh, well, no, come on back. That's sick. Some of these people in these positions, they need to be put out. And this person ran a church. I wonder how many of her members taking pills. That part. I will tell it. I'll tell it. You had no business telling me. The only way I can get in here is I need medication. Ain't no way. I've been an advocate against medication. You picked with the wrong one. When they told me, my daughter called me about a year ago, she said, Mom, I thank you for not putting me on medication. You don't need it. You need a whooping, baby. You need talking to. You need understanding.
That's right.
That medication is going to mess your mind up, and you're not going to be stable. You're not going to be able to take care of yourself. Your mom, she goes to work. She do what she has to do. Through her sicknesses, major sicknesses and all. This black woman goes to work. She don't need no man. I don't give I fought against that with all my, they'll come to you for a few dollars, give you a little check, but what are these children going to do when they get grown?
That's right.
What are they doing? A lot of them walk on the streets now, gone. Mine gone. It's gone. Because their mamas put them on medication for a couple of dollars.
That's right.
I'm done.
You all right? Well, I would give you a hand if I couldn't. If city manager, then Commissioner Warren will have the last words, and we're going to dismiss.
Very good. I just wanted to say this is a national problem. It's affecting all across the country, and we all have to do the best we can to try to help those in need. Unfortunately, I'm afraid that, as you suggested, that it may get worse with some of our changes in policy and so forth. I know I had one of our officers say they stopped and talked to one of the people and offered to try to help. And as you said earlier, the person said to him, this is what I want. I'm not looking for some place to live and have a phone bill and a light bill and that. I like it out here. He said, in fact, I get a check every month, and I want to keep doing what I'm doing. So there are a lot of different parts to this problem. It's not a simple thing, and all we can do is do the best we can.
Thanks. I just want to let the record show that we are sympathetic and understanding. I appreciate your testimony. I appreciate you telling your story. It was reported that a lot of Americans are like 1 or 2 paychecks away from being homeless. So we definitely understand and acknowledge that it is a problem and that these are everyday people. They just fell on hard times, or a lot of them are. So I want to make sure everyone is clear that no one up here is saying that we don't understand. We definitely understand. And then I want to say to you that I want to speak with you after the meeting because I may be able to help with a little bit. And there are some training programs out there. I know Michigan Works offers a lot. I don't know if that is the right fit for everybody, but even if one person is helped, that's one person that's going in the right direction in their life. So I just wanted to kind of say that we are 100% sympathetic, and no one's saying put the homeless out. We just need to find a permanent solution. Thank you.
Thank everybody for coming out. I appreciate everyone who's come and for every presentation. Thank you. And that being all, anything else, City Clerk? Oh, I do apologize. I do want to move forward the naming of that park to Mayor James Hightower. I couldn't hear what you said.
You want to hear me say it?
Say it, please.
I'll come up here and say it.
Yeah, please, say it.
My question was, what are you going to name it?
The Mayor James Hightower Park.
You're going to name a park, Mayor Hightower, ex-Mayor Hightower Park? I'm just one citizen.
Or the James Hightower, whichever one you prefer.
I'll wait till you finish talking then. James Hightower is a preacher, and he called 3 black men a nigger. That's why he's not in the position he's in right now. And you guys, I'm saying you guys because you brought it up, and it strikes a nerve for me that you would want to do anything like this. I would also like to say, trying, I heard you guys say how much you're trying to do something for the homeless. Trying ain't shit. You got shit everywhere because you won't keep a bathroom open for homeless people to use. You can't find money to keep the bathrooms taken care of. Whirlpool builds a bathroom on Mickey Yarborough Park. It was already porta potties out there. Build a bathroom with one, I haven't seen the inside, but I understand there's one stool in there. It's a park, there's no running water. Is it running water over here? It's not a park. You guys are trying to help the citizens, you say, and I appreciate you guys saying you're trying. This was mainly for the city manager, but he's not here. So I just say to you, Chief, and to Mr. Little, trying is not acceptable when you're homeless, need a place to go. What you gonna do? Let them shit all behind the buildings like they're doing on the river?
Mr. Duncan, I appreciate what you
Oh,
said.
no.
But
Just
the
don't
fi-
answer to me.
yeah, the
Just go on and do what you
Well,
want to do.
well, no, it's not that. The foul language is not necessary, number
I
one.
can say whatever I please.
You want to, but they
So
were,
don't try to raise me
All right.
up in here.
So
Raise
not-
the dead, raise the people would need a bathroom
Thank
all
you.
night.
so there were no bathrooms there last year,
It
2
was
years
no
ago.
bathrooms until we asked for them down on the river.
No,
We
we-
had to beg you guys to come up with a
Okay,
bathroom
well-
down there. They were shitting all up and down the river.
Well, your vote,
And they're gonna shit behind the buildings now if
Your-
you don't get a bathroom down there. Ask some of these rich people
your vote,
to
your vote made,
donate, help us. I'm talking about the whirlpools, the cornerstones, all of them, to take care
This
of
is-
the
this is-
bathroom.
this is
I don't-
2025.
Am I still here?
this is 2025.
I know, and it's
Now,
going to
we're
be
still-
2026,
we're
and
still
gonna have
talking about the
exact
same-
problem next year, long as you guys are just trying.
No problem. So,
It
can-
is a problem. You is one of them.
okay, thank you. So, can we find somebody else to build one?
If it wasn't for the citizens, it wouldn't be a bathroom down there now.
What are you talking about?
What are you
Name,
listening to?
name.
Are you listening to me or are you
Name
arguing
who
with me?
negotiated,
Are you arguing with
name
me?
who negotiated the fact that you have a bathroom down there.
It is a bathroom
Because
down
the
there.
one you need to talk to is the one that voted no.
Who voted no? You want to talk, you want to say that?